Hello, lovelies. Welcome back to Lifestyle Chapter. If today is your first time stopping by, I welcome you to the family and please subscribe. Today, I'm super excited. As you can hear in my voice, it's because I'm going to share with you this recipe that I'm proud of, and it is delicious and perfect, and you're going to love it. This is my creamy eggplant stew recipe, which is going to be chunky as well. Lovelies, I know that you will love this recipe, and this recipe is going to taste just like home. So sit and stay and watch step by step how this is made, and it's going to be paired with some boiled yam, and this is super delicious. So I hope you watch it step by step to the end of the video to see how this was achieved. I hope you stay tuned with me and let's get started. So here I have some eggplants in my sink that I'm washing thoroughly under running water. I'm just making sure there are no sand on it, so I'm washing it individually into another bowl in the other sink. And then now I have it ready for chopping on the chopping board. So I'm going to cut the head off the eggplant. You can also use garden eggs. I don't have garden eggs where I am. That is why I'm using the eggplant. But it is the same thing. If you have garden eggs, you are good with that. But for this recipe here, I'm using the eggplant, and it's the same process if you're using garden eggs as well. So as you can see, I am peeling off the skin of the eggplant. Because I wouldn't need the skin for this recipe. I know some people use the skin, but for this, I'm taking off the skin off. So now I will cut it into bigger cubes or into chunks. And I have another bowl that I'm going to transfer all the eggplants that I have cut into. So it is ready now. I did not take off the seeds. All the seeds are intact in there. I'm adding in some water. And then I'll bring it to a boil. So these are the rest of the ingredients. I have my smoked turkey. I have my chopped onions, some wale or cow skin. I have my kakao. I want it to be dehydrated. That is why I've put it in water, because it's super dry. And I have some Koobi head, that is salted fish head, that I'm using as well. So coming back to the eggplant, it has been on fire for about 20 minutes. It looks cooked. So I'll take it off fire and then I'll pour it in the colander in the sink. This way I'm trying to get the water out of the eggplant. So I've poured it into a colander in the sink, and then I'll be transferring it into another bowl. To that, I will add in some cold water to cool it down. I'll do that twice to make sure it is not that cold, because I'll be working on it. I don't want it to be hot for me to get burnt. So you have to make sure the water is lukewarm. So this is the second time I'm putting on some water to cool it down, and then it is all set. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the eggplant and separate the seeds from the eggplant. So I have two separate bowls on the side. I have one for the seeds and the other for the eggplant itself. So that is what I'm working on. So this is how the process is going to be until I finish with all the eggplant in that bowl of water. So now we are all set. Now you can see the bowl with the eggplant seeds and then the eggplant itself ready. Now I have my pot ready on fire, which I'm adding in some palm nut oil. That is what I'm using for this recipe. So I'm allowing it to heat up. And to that, I'm going to add in my chopped onions. I'll allow it to fry for about 2 to 3 minutes for it to turn transparent. And then to that, I'm adding in the Koobi head. That's the salted fish head to it. It is optional. It was something that I had, so I just wanted to get more flavor in this stew. That is why I'm adding it to it. And I've also added in the Kakao to give it more fragrance and more flavor. So I allowed it to cook for about 3 minutes, and I'm stirring it up nicely. And to that, I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And then I will stir gently, or give it a nice gentle stir for it to cook. I'll allow it to cook for about 3 minutes. And then cover it. So now I have the eggplant seeds that I had in the bowl ready to be blended in the blender. Look how creamy it looks. I have that ready, so I've set it aside. And then I've added in my tomato that I blended. That was a combination of tomatoes, jalapeno peppers, onions together blended, and I've added it to the stew. So I'll leave it to cook for about 6 to 8 minutes. And then to that, I'll add in my wale. That is the cow skin. I normally do cook the cow skin first, but this cow skin was soft enough, so I didn't cook it separately. I just added it straight into the stew. So it depends on which cow skin you have. And then this is the smoked turkey that I've cut into chunks. I've added that to into the stew, and I'm stirring it nicely. To that, I'm adding in some garlic salt. I'll put all the ingredients and the measurements in the description box below. I've added in some garlic salt to give it more taste. And also I've added some salt to taste. So I'll stir everything up gently. I'll give it a nice gentle stir. And then allow it to cook for about 10 minutes. So now I have my yam ready. As I said before, this stew recipe is going to be paired with boiled yam. So I have my tuber of yam that I'm going to cut into smaller pieces for it to go on fire to boil. So I'm working on the yam, peeling it, the back off, and then I'll cut it into pieces. So this is how it looks. That is how it's looking. Beautiful. And so I have it in a bowl. I'm going to wash this under running water and then transfer it into a pot. To that, I'll add in some water and then some salt to taste. And then I'll bring it to a boil. Going back to the stew, look at how the stew is looking after 10 minutes. Everything looks so good. The meat in there, especially the wale or the cow skin, is tender. And everything is looking perfect. To that, I'll add in the blended seeds of the eggplant. Remember, it was already cooked. So I will stir this nicely and then just leave it in for 2 minutes. Because it is already cooked, I don't need to cook it more. This is what gives the stew the creaminess. It makes it so creamy and tasty, and you will just love it. So this is it after 2 minutes. You can see the oils resurfacing. So to that, I'll add the eggplant that I turned into pieces as well to the stew. And it is also cooked. so we don't need more time for this. I will stir everything up nicely and gently. To make sure it is mixed up well with the rest of the stew. So this is going to also be in the stew for about 3 minutes. And that's it. I'll just cover it up for 3 minutes. And then look how beautiful our creamy eggplant stew is looking. Lovelies. We are all done. The fire is off. I'm going back to the yam to see how it's looking and using the fork to test whether it's done. It went through smoothly. That means the yam is also cooked perfectly. And look how this beauty is looking. We have our yam that I'm serving on a plate. I'm dishing out on a plate, and I'm going to add in the eggplant stew, which is perfect and delicious. Lovelies. I know you are going to try this recipe and you are going to love it. Look at that. Isn't this beautiful? And the aroma here is just too much. And it tastes really, really good. So lovelies, you try your hands on and you let me know how this went. When I was trying it, my sister was like, I am not ready to wait for you, so let's get going. That is how it ended up. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video, and please leave comments down below for me to know how you did when you tried it, or if you have any comments. Thank you. Bye.